Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And today is another review for Marriage Bootcamp Hip Hop Editions Season 18, Episode 5. Before we get started in our video, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell on, that you hit the like button, that you leave a comment down below. Let us know what you thought about tonight's episode. I'm B. This is
your boy Cliff.
Boom boom. And let's go ahead and get into this video. Alright, so the episode starts off where last week ended. People are going off. Starts off with Treasure going off, which we expected because Molly completely disrespected her at the end of last week's episode by calling her a thought and carrying on. And then all of a sudden, randomly, Nori was like on one. He was mad because he couldn't get his phone and he was hungry. I don't know what the blow up was about. Could you tell?
I understand. One, first of all, you gotta understand personality traits. Nori is that uncle that you always bring over to the family get-togethers, but then he get into his cup and he just mad about something that happened 15 years ago.
So you think he was in his cup?
Yeah, he was in his cup, like, and then he's got to be the center of attention. He's been that way in every single episode, trying to dissect what Dr. Ish is saying. Trying to Dr. Ish other people while Dr. Ish is not there. So it's like, hey, we get this Treasure and Molly got too much of the story right now. You know what? I'm mad.
So before the day gets started, Dr. Ish decides to pull Treasure aside to talk to her. And Treasure, because Dr. Ish is saying that there's an elephant in the room between Treasure and Molly and they're just not discussing it. So Treasure starts talking and she basically says that she believes Molly is the devil, that he has like an evil spirit around her, and that she doesn't even want to try to save this relationship. And while they in there talking, Molly is kind of like trying to eavesdrop. Dr. Ish actually has to tell him to like step off. And I called it from day one that he got that pimp controlling mentality, and Dr. Ish just co-signed it for me.
I just think the nature of their relationship is more devious.
It's toxic.
Than what's being put on.
Mm-hmm.
So ever since the beginning of the season, he tried to manipulate.
Yes, manipulate
the situation. First, it was about her drinking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always, as far as seeing that she is,
she the problem.
She is the problem in their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But you could tell by the inward jab that he takes at her that there's a mental hold, and you could tell in the jealousy challenge when she didn't even want to participate.
Mm-hmm. That's why that's that pimp mentality. He in her head. I'm reading the instructions.
Nori, Molly.
Oh, they choose who the instructors are.
And Brock.
Oh hell.
Oh my God.
I read the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
She got to listen to.
So for day 5, Dr. Ish comes out and gives them their task. Now we are in the halfway point of the boot camp. So the first little bit was to break them down. Now it's time to give them the tools to build things back up. Today is communication. So everyone has to go with their partner to build a go-kart. One person has to do the instructions, has to say the instructions. The other person has to build the cart. I would want to do the instructions, but Dr. Ish gets to choose who does what. So I feel like they would probably make him sit and do the instructions and me do the tool stuff, which would be very frustrating.
For the both of us.
Extremely frustrating for both of us.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm that dude that don't look at the instructions when it opens up. I'm the one that always got extra pieces, extra wires,
right.
And, extra nuts and screws and stuff.
Meanwhile, I want to sit, I want to read the instructions, I want to go step by step. I want to tell you also, I'm not a handyman, so It would be a mess if it was us up there. But everybody's going through. So far, I really like Moni's tone. She's very calm, very like even keeled when she's talking. The couple that's having the biggest issue right now is Treasure and Molly. Molly says that he just can't get out his mind that she called him the devil and it's really messing with her. She says she don't think she's gonna be able to make it to the end of this with him because she really does see him as evil.
So we got to the part of the challenge, and we know we're going through all the couples and we're listening to them communicate. By far, ahead and above everybody else is Brock and Amber. So Brock is reading the instructions, and you know it's clear that Brock really understands how to make Amber feel good. He understands that. So looking at this, to me, the biggest complication is the fact that, you know, Amber's has a problem with his bisexuality.
That's the core problem there, because they're clearly like friends. They're clearly, you know, they're codependent on each other, but they clearly know each other very well. It just doesn't benefit them to be together romantically.
But you know, hey, he likes what he likes, man.
Ignoring, thinking he know what's going on.
Say he be trying to Dr. Ish when Dr. Ish ain't there.
For herself and shit myself.
Molly Mall always try to put people over to his side.
Same conversation over and
So after the exercise, they have some time. The couples have some time to kind of just reflect on everything. Of course, Nori is being Nori, aka Mini Dr. Ish, trying to tell them what to expect from the communication challenge and how the show worked in previous seasons. Then some kind of way he gets sucked into a conversation with Molly, and Molly is going on and on about Treasure to the point where Nori is legit like tuned out. He is more enthralled with the lizard on the rock than he is with Molly Mall. So then Treasure decides to come up because she just wants to go ahead and confront the issue. And as she's sitting there trying to talk to him and see what the issue is, instead of actually talking about the issue between them two, he calls everybody else in the house to come over there to be a part of the conversation. And Dr. Ish and Judge Toler are watching this and are like, oh, see, he's trying to recruit people to be on his side. And the thing about it is, Treasure sees exactly what he's doing. Like, she sees his game. And he's like, well, how am I the devil? What have I done? She's like, you're just so manipulative. Like, I see right through you. Like, you're just so manipulative. Then he tries to, well, I've never put my hands on you. No, you never put your hands on me. But you have intimidated me. You have controlled me. And this is how you done it. So then when she goes to say those type of things, he don't want to hear that no more. Now he wants to storm out talking about he don't want to do this no more. Treasure's a smart cookie. Why do I keep thinking about cookies? So greedy. But Treasure is a smart cookie. And that pimp mentality, see, she done been in the strip club. She know a pimp when she see a pimp. It's like on Hustle and Flow when the white girls say to Terrence, D, I know when you're trying to get in my head. Because most of the time I let you. But don't do that right now. That's where we at. That's where we at with him.
You did not go full main.
That's what it is. Tell me online. You got anything you want to add?
Nah, I don't got nothing now to add. But you know, you outside looking in, you know, you peep game on Molly Mall. You peep game on Molly Mall. He's that guy that can't stand on his own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? You know, he's that, you know, my shit don't stink type of person.
Apparently. So after Molly has stormed off, he's in the room, he's packing. He done packed up all his stuff. I'm convinced he didn't unpack, okay? Judge Toler comes in to talk him off of the ledge. He says that Treasure is trying to assassinate his character, basically. And the things that she's talking about and the climate that we're in could destroy his livelihood and those around him. Judge says that if you leave, it's like you're running away and you don't have a chance to tell your side of the story. And this exercise today in communication will really help him in being able to communicate effectively to her and to get his side out there. So then we get down to the second part of the drill, which is, like Nori said, the part in which they blindfold one partner while the other partner has to tell them which way to go. And everybody sucks. That's my recap.
I just think Judge told Molly what he needed to hear to keep him in the house, keep this program going.
Cause I ain't
buying that she believed what she said.
Exactly. Right. And then my thing is too, why you got your shades? Take your shades off when you talking to the judge. Why you can't look her in the eye? Is he cockeyed or something?
I'm talking about get back in uniform, sir.
I mean. So at the end of the day, after the race is completed, Money and Tuff end up being the winners.
They won, but you don't care about that. Let's get into the meat potato stuff. After that, everybody sitting around the doggone table. Yes. They got wine glasses in hand.
Well, it was the girls in one room and the guys in the other room. Because that's important, seeing as how when the girls were in the room talking, Treasure was actually being very vulnerable, talking about just like the dynamic between her and Molly. And Money says she could recognize that manipulative dynamic because it reminds her of that relationship that she talked about earlier in the season. Meanwhile, the men are in the room and Nori is trying to stick up for Treasure, saying that, you know, she might have some ways, but she's a good woman. And while Nori is saying that, Molly is sitting there like, man, no, don't even say that. No. Alright. So then they come together. And then what?
Then they come together, right? So now you got the guys coming in. They're going to come to, to their counterparts.
So they trying to tell Molly and Molly to sit down next to Treasure and to like be with this girl and everything. And so he comes and he sits down next to her, and then he comes and puts her on his lap, and then, kissing her all in the mouth and carrying on. Now, mind you, we remember just 2 episodes ago, Treasure said how she actually doesn't even like PDA. She's not even comfortable with PDA. Remember that? And so she's sitting there and she's sitting on his lap, but she's sitting on his lap with a look like this. And that gets Money heated because she's like, this is just too much. This is just too much. Y'all was just fighting on opposite ends of the earth, and now you come and you send her all on your lap. It's that manipulative stuff, and she can see it. And I respect Money so much because she called that thing out. That thing was sitting right in her spirit.
But the whole thing about that whole situation that bothers me the most is that when you was along with the guys, you didn't have any loving comments to even say about Treasure. But you call her fake. But as soon as you get back together in the giant circle to put on this show to not draw attention to yourself, you want to act like the situation did it.
You better say it. Again.
Yeah, man, if you're going to say it,
stand in it.
Be 10 toes down.
10 toes down. Again, that's that manipulation. That's that controlling. That's that what? Pimp mentality.
If it's a young lady, I don't think we're compatible. I don't think that this relationship is moving forward in a positive way for the both of us.
And be done with it.
And be done with that.
So, watching Treasure put on because Money ended up getting Treasure to say, I was just doing it just to go along with it. It triggered something in Money, or Money. How do you say her name? Money or Money? Money. No. It triggered something in her that clearly took her back and made her step away from the group, go to her room and kind of cry. So I'm waiting on Tuff.
So now, this what happened. Now, this took all the pressure off of Marley Ma. And now, my dude Tuff.
Where you at? Where you at? So, after Money went upstairs and collected herself, Tuff was nowhere to be found. I don't like that.
You was at the table?
I'm talking about he wasn't nowhere to be found with her. I don't like that. She comes back down and she actually ends up, because Molly and Treasure end up getting into it again because the makeup wasn't real. They didn't make up anything. And Money ends up separating them because she's like, what y'all are doing is toxic. And she just sees what it is and she's over it. And she tells Treasure, you don't have to make yourself small to be in a relationship. I said, yes, Money. You better speak that word. So then we get the final evaluation where they give us the rules of engagement. So the first rule was same team. Remember that y'all are a team together. Rule number 2 was one play, which means argue about one thing at a time. Don't bring in all of your 10 years worth of pain and resentment into whatever the argument is at the time. Number 3 is stay in the game, which means don't walk away, don't run away from the issue. Stay in, have the conversation. Number 4 was love. Love stands for listen, understand, and validate. So one partner says, I had chocolate chip cookies and milk for dessert. And he would say,
yeah, peanut butter cake.
Chocolate cake. What I heard was blah, 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 blah. And that way the person feels validated. And Dr. Ish says even if the argument is not resolved, at least both people can feel heard. Which is a big thing, I think, because when you are in a long-term relationship, sometimes there are issues that just don't get resolved right away. But at least both of you have some type of understanding in order to move forward later. And 5 is spike the ball, which means if you make it through that argument without any major casualties, celebrate it in whatever way you can.
I really enjoyed what Nori said, and I'm gonna take it for face value. I really think he is seeing how he was being controlling, how he was
stifling her.
Yeah, kind of being overbearing. So hey, it's with any relationship, hey, this is my best friend, but hey, I don't want to be with her 24 hours out, 24/7. Hey, it's magical. Hey, you go have fun, I'm gonna go have fun, and then at the end of the night, we come back together. And yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, all right,
Sylvester. Knocking doubles.
All right, Sylvester. But I think it took that conversation with the rest of the women, even though, it could be a lot to have a lot of women kind of on one side or whatever. But I think it took that conversation with them kind of breaking it down for him to even help him get it. Because, I think he's open to the process and open to what they are supposed to be learning. But he has been stuck in his ways with his wife for so many years that it's definitely going to be like some barriers, some walls, some time before it takes shape, takes heed.
And I get it. I guess I get it. Wife is going out with single girls. You going out with single people for it. They over here having a hot girl summer. They doing thought-ish.
But like Money said, his meanwhile, his homeboys, his industry friends are hoes. So if she's not complaining about who he's going out with and, his group of friends and stuff like that, and she's trusting him, then he should have that same amount of trust in her. And so he's Nori's a good guy. He's a good guy. He's a good guy. I don't dislike Nori. I just think, he got to loosen up a little bit. Well, that's it, you guys. That is the end of Marriage Boot Camp this episode. What did you think about episode? My biggest takeaway is that Treasure and Molly are in a very toxic relationship and they don't need to leave together.
What I took away from this episode is, yeah.
Y'all, please make sure you comment down below and tell me what your biggest take was from this episode. Join us each and every week as we review this show. Again, if you have not done so already, make sure that you are subscribed with the notification bell on. Hit the like button. And I'll see you in the next review. Peace.